Alright guys, today I am swatching out all of my Diamine inks that I got recently. I got them from Cult Pens and I filmed an unboxing of everything that I got in that order separately from this. And these inks were only about $2.65, so I used the rest of my shipping amount quota. You have to pay, if you buy more than $135 at Cult Pens, you get free shipping to the US. So I was already ordering the Opus 88 Halo and a notebook that I wanted, and so I filled the rest of my cart with these inks. I was able to get quite a bit for just $40 because they are so inexpensive. So here I am swatching them out. The video is pretty chatty. If you don't want to hear me talk, feel free to put on your own music and just watch the swatching. So I swatched them all out with a paintbrush, and just to make sure that I had them in the order that I wanted, and to see, you know, how they are when they are a little bit more, not diluted because I didn't put water in them, but less saturated. That's not the right word either, but you get what I'm saying. And this is a great order. I'm gonna move the green to the brown side, but we'll go ahead and swatch these. That black might actually belong on the brown side too. It's very warm black. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 is a good amount for this page. I can still fit the rest of them on the other page. So now I will go ahead and swatch these like I was going to, like I normally do in my Midori notebook. So this is the Midori notebook in blank. The blank ones always have this yellow bookmark, and I am going to swatch them out just like this. I can fit 13 on a page, but I'm just doing these warm ones first, so I'll still have room for these cool ones first, so I'll still have room for the warm ones on the next page. And I'm just going to make sure I push everything into view here. And then with what I like to do is I use this little knife that I got at a vintage shop to make the larger swatches, and then I use a dip pen to make the writing sample. And I was using a Moonman nib in a dip pen, but I have gotten some since those swatches that I like a lot better. So I think today I'm going to do we'll start with this Brows nib. It's very thick, so I'm not sure. It's a very, very broad nib, so I'm not sure if it's going to be working out perfectly. I have some thinner ones and that we might try as well, but for now I will start out trying a couple. Let's just try a writing sample. Oh yeah, that would be so fantastic. I love these nibs. Look at the variation that they have. Okay, so that's perfect. I'm going to write the names out in that, and I'm going to make a little swatch with this. So I will have a title bar up here later on. So I'm going to make sure that I don't take up that space. And this paper is very thin. You can see through the paper. So I'm just gonna put this, this is normally how large my title bar is one line of this paper. So that'll tell me where it goes, and you can see through. This will also help me keep all my swatches straight on this page. So I like to use this one to dip, and then I'll get the ink and go ahead and rub some on there. Okay, and the reason I use these to do the swatches is obviously because they're super, super easy to clean off, and super quick to dip if I'm going to be trying a bunch of different inks. So this one is the Eclipse. To me, it just looks black. It's got like a tiny bit of purple in the actual writing, which isn't even coming through on the camera. But in the larger swatch, you can see that it's got this gorgeous purple color to it. But in larger, you know, in more saturated quantities, it's just black. So I would much rather use this as an ink to do a wash with rather than just writing with it, because that color to me is absolutely gorgeous. Okay, so then we will do this one. This is, oh, and I don't, yeah, the Eclipse. Okay. So several of these inks were from a different collection, actually. Cult Pens, I think, is the only place that carries it, but they have the deep, or maybe they're not, I don't know. I know that they're the only place that carries some of the Diamine inks, but anyway, these are the deep dark line, which it was even in a different listing. All of these colors come in the same listing, and you just choose your colors out of there, but the deep dark ones were all different, all separate. And so I normally love my neutrals, so I definitely had to give some of these a try, and they're like 10 cents different in price. And this one from that set is the blue, so this is the blue from the deep dark set, and it's got a little more color coming through on there, but it's still essentially, to me, looks black in just writing, which I appreciate, because when I'm sketching, I really want the ink to be a dark enough color that, you know, it reads black. Actually, my main sketching ink is about this color. I use a Diatramentis mix, black and dark blue, and it comes out to be about like that, and I really love that. This one I would also sketch with as well if they were waterproof. And then I'll show you again. This is the painted out version, the deep dark set. It's got a very nice blue color. So the next one we're gonna swatch is called Midnight. To me, it's kind of funny that the Midnight is brighter than the deep dark blue, but you never know with the names of inks. They don't necessarily reflect anything about the color. So this one is the Midnight, and we are still in solid black territory when it comes to the writing sample or the line of it. And this is a very juicy nib. It's fat, it's bold, it's 1 millimeter, which is a very thick line in terms of pen weight. You can make it look a lot thinner by writing on the side, but it's gonna put down a lot of ink, and so these samples are gonna be darker. In a very fine or a very dry writing pen, you might get a little more of that color variation coming through. This one, actually, you can see even in the swatch a lot of that blue coming through. Let me see if I can, oh yeah, you can see it on the camera. So that one is starting to be light enough to where you can see a lot of the color come through. And in the larger swatch, this is the Midnight. It's just, these blues are blowing me away. I really love what they've got going on here with their colors. So the next one I'm gonna swatch is the Majestic Blue. Again, we're just getting a little bit more, a little bit lighter. in value and a little bit more saturated in color. Majestic Blue. I think this one, yes. I think this one sheens a little bit. When I saw the samples, I was looking on Mountain of Ink to see what kind of colors that I wanted to get, because I had a lot of extra cart to fill. I knew I could get quite a few in order to, you know, make my shipping minimum, and so I was looking on Mountain of Ink to see her swatches. They're gorgeous, and this one had like a purple sheen to it that I noticed on the website, and you can see here in the larger swatch, this paper is absolutely horrible paper. It does not show sheen very well. Hopefully some will come up on this, which definitely shows it a lot better. We'll do some close-ups in a few to see that, but here you can see that coming through. It's got, to me it looks more red than purple here, but we'll see how it turns out on the better paper. Midori is one of the better papers. This is just some, like, the cheapest notebook you can buy of blank paper. These also have some sheen to them. So when those are dry on the Midori paper, we'll take a look at them too. But this is the Midnight Blue. No, sorry, Midnight Majestic. This is the Majestic Blue. So the next swatch we're gonna do is the Denim. This one is more of a green toned blue than the other ones. These are a little bit more red or true blues. The Denim is like a green. It reminds me of Prussian blue, to be honest. It looks very much like a darker Prussian blue. So this is the Denim. And then I got some brighter colors as well. I wanted this to be sort of a, not a full set necessarily, but a very versatile, and you know, I wanted to have a little bit of everything in this set. I am definitely going to use these inks to play around with, to sketch with, to color with even. So I got some brighter colors as well. Normally I kind of am very conservative in my ink colors, but I thought that this could be, since they're so inexpensive, this could be a good way to give myself just like a range that I can play around with and even mix together and try new colors. I definitely think that I'll be doing some of that in the future. So I got these turquoises. I basically got everything that looked pretty to me, which these turquoises were in the mix. So this is a nice dark teal color. And then the steel blue and the mint, they're actually pretty close together, the steel blue and the mint, but the steel blue is more of a bluish kind of turquoise, and the mint is more of a greenish turquoise. Completely gorgeous though, and all together on the page they are just amazing as well. I like the set. I like the set of these colors, so definitely very happy with the choices in this cooler set, and I haven't even seen the warmer set yet, so we'll do that next, but I am very, very happy so far with how this turned out. You can never really tell when you're looking at swatches on the internet, but I mean, Mountain of Ink does a great job, the blog Mountain of Ink, showing things next to each other, and so you can make comparisons and see what you're gonna get. But in my case, I don't have any inks, or I have a very, very small number of inks, and I've seen a very small number of inks in person, so those comparisons didn't really tell me that much, because I don't know what the other ones look like either. So I did my best to pick some, and I think I did a great job. These are gorgeous. These are just gorgeous. So we'll wait for those to dry, and then we'll come back and look at the sheening on them. And meanwhile, I'll just clean up a bit and get ready to start the next part of the video with the warm colors. So I'm just gonna swatch everything out on this piece of paper because this really super cheap paper, and with a brush. I have to close all these bottles though because I don't want them to spill. Okay, so in this set I'm going to swatch all the warm colors, probably. I'm not quite sure how they're going to go together, so part of this swatch page is in case I want to change the order before I put them in my notebook as a swatch page. So I already know what this black looks like, and I'm just going to save myself some space on this paper because I barely have the room that I need. This green, I'm not really sure where this green is going to fit in. So let me just swatch the rest of these because I already have the green and the black on this page. So let's just see what these other colors look like when they're painted out a little bit. Okay, so I got some clean fresh water to do the warm color swatches, and we'll just see what kind of thing that we got here. This is the deep dark brown, and the chocolate brown, and the burnt sienna. Oh, I love that color. I'm a huge fan of brown, which sounds boring, but I love a good brown. That one is raw sienna, autumn oak. You know, these are really reminding me of the colors that I had loved in the De Atramentis line. This one is red dragon. This one is coral. Oh my god, look how pretty that is. This one is peach haze. Oh, that's very orange. And then I got pink. Wow, that's very fluorescent. Let's see if it calms itself down. These I was not expecting to be that color. And look, that's changing a lot. It was bright yellow, and now it's very not bright yellow. And in the meantime, these have well dried, so we'll take a look and see what kind of sheen that we can see. Eclipse I'm not seeing too much, but in those next three you can see this. You kind of can't tell the way the light is hitting it, but it's a very so the undertone is a lighter value blue with more color to it, and this is very like purple blue, like a dark blue sheen. And this one is about the same. It's a dark blue sheen. There's just a lot less of it. This one has some shininess, but it doesn't really look like anything. I mean, it's flat. It's like a black kind of a sheen. And this sheen is very purple reddish. These have some shading. I wouldn't say necessarily sheen on them. So that's that. And we'll do the next set of colors. So this set we have 11, and they'll still fit, so 9, 10, 11. They'll fit very easily on the page, and I can just go line by line again. So I'll line up that title, and then we can get started. I think I want the bright ones on top, so I'm actually going to do it opposite to how I laid them out. I think these probably, I don't know, it doesn't matter. On this page, I'm doing the bright ones first. So I'll start with, on this side, with the peach haze. They're just so fluorescent. I got them in the swatches on the Mountain of Ink website where I was looking at what colors I wanted to buy, they had some like color variation, and I thought these might be very nice because when I got my sample set, I really fell in love with the Sailor multi-chromatic inks, and I thought that these would be some like warm versions because those are green and purple. They look blue or gray when you write with them, and I thought that these would be some warmer versions of them, of the same kind of thing, because again, in those swatches you could see how there was like a little bit of color variation in there after they dried, and I am just feeling shocked by these colors. Like, I think they're way too bright for me and my art style. I will probably still use them as mixing colors because the brighter the color, the better it performs as a mixing color, but we'll see how they actually end up drying. Sometimes they dry different than they look when you first put them out, and also I think as writing samples, they might be great. In large swatches like this, currently, they look super fluorescent to me, and that's not my thing, but when I'm looking at the writing, that actually looks gorgeous. And I mean, these are made to write with, so it makes sense that your ink will have to be a lot brighter to show that brightness in writing, because it's a much smaller line, and the ink loses a lot of its character a lot of the time from the swatch to the actual writing. So I mean, these are designed to be writing inks. That makes sense. I think I might really love writing with them, so we'll try that out. I know that I'll still find good use for everything that I bought, but I think that the neutrals on this page are just really speaking to my heart much more than those super bright ones. And this one is the Burnt Sienna. I love this color. I absolutely love this color. It looks like it might dry a little more flat on this paper, but this reddish brown neutral color is just one of my favorite things, and I'm very happy with that brown. Next we have Red Dragon. I like this red. I thought it was gonna be a lot more of a red, but I don't necessarily prefer red. It's a very purple leaning mid red, I would say. And they're not even dry yet, but you can see the color tone a lot better in the larger swatch that I made. That looks just amazing and gorgeous in writing. It looks like it's gonna shade and separate a little bit, and that is very impressive right there. I think if you're buying inks or interested in inks for writing and you like that color, the Red Dragon is just going to be absolutely gorgeous. Part of this too, I was thinking I would find one of these to put, I would choose one of these to put in my Opus 88 demonstrator pen that I got from Cult Pens in the same order. It's not actually a demonstrator. There's one that's called the demonstrator. This is called the Halo, but it's a demonstrator. So that's, I think the Red Dragon might be my pick for that. Okay, so the last one I did was Chocolate Brown. It looks like flat, dark in the camera right now, but I will show you close-ups at the end. You can really see, to me, I can notice the brown coming through very nicely on that chocolate brown. Now that's essentially, that's a color that I love, but I think for my demonstrator pen, the color that I want to put in there, I wanted to put a color that would look pretty, just for my first couple of tests. And I also think that the Red Dragon would be good because, whoa. I also think I want to see how, it's a stub nib, so I think it'll be very nice to see how the Red Dragon looks in a writing sample with such a fat nib. So that's what we'll try. This is the deep dark brown. Onyx Black. And it's no surprise that the Onyx Black just looks black in the swatch, but in a larger, in a more drawn out sense, it's actually got a gorgeous color to it. And I'm really excited. That's one of my favorites of the one I got. I think using that in a wash will be just absolutely gorgeous, and that precise type of color really just fits into the color palette that I like to use. So I think that Onyx Black is one of my favorites. But for writing, it just looks like it's black. This one is the Raw Sienna, and it looks yellow now. To me, that's a lot more of a Raw Sienna than it ends up being. It looks, well, I guess it looks a lot more yellowy in this, and brown. It gets a lot more brown as it dries. But Raw Sienna can really be anywhere in that range, so that ink, I guess, all by itself covers the full range of Raw Sienna. This one is super weird to me. I was really happy with the orange to yellow that you get when you first swatch it out. But this one also just kind of turns into a brown color. Oh my god. But that brown color in itself is absolutely gorgeous with the shading and everything. So when I first saw it changing, I thought it was just getting more dull. And I didn't really like that was happening. But I'm really, really happy with the color that it looks after. I kind of wish it would be that color from the beginning. I'm not a super huge fan of inks that change color, just because I like to see, I just don't like it that much. But the final color for that Autumn Oak is gorgeous, which is what I chose it off of. That's what I was looking at, final color swatches. I didn't see it wet before I bought it, so apparently I made the right choice based on the dried color. And then the last one I have is this deep dark green from the separate collection. And yeah, overall impression, I still think these are going to be way too dark or way too bright and fluorescent for me, but they do have some very nice effects in writing that I think I'll be able to use. So there they are, all the colors that I swatched. And then again, here's what they look like in a larger, and then there's the Onyx Black and the deep dark green. So I hope you all liked the video, and thank you for watching.